morning, everyone. This is an exciting day for our team at Point Blank Media as we bring to you our very first episode of PB Live. I am Sana Shamim, and on behalf of my team, I would like to give a warm welcome to everybody who has joined us today. So our topic is very interesting, where we are going to be telling you how you can accelerate customer experience with digital marketing and SEO. And for this, we have digital customer experience gurus with us who has been ruling the financial industry of the UAE region for more than 15 years. And they are all here to give us the insider scoops about it. Our first guest speaker is Farhan Niaz, who is the CEO and founder of CX Future. He's listed amongst the top 100 global CX thought leaders. He's also the co-author of bestseller book on Amazon, which is Customer Experience 4 CX4. If you're interested in that book, you can connect with him on LinkedIn. He has been in the industry for more than 25 years and has worked with the top institutions, including Citibank, Mashreq, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank. He's an expert in customer experience, customer centricity, employee engagement, and change management. Thank you, Farhan, for taking out time for us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sana. Thank you for the warm welcome. And hello to everybody who's listening and watching, and to my fellow panelists, a warm welcome to them.
Our second guest speaker is Syed Haider Hussain, who is the head of strategy at Point Blank Media. He has over 15 years of experience in digital transformations across various industries. Welcome, Haider.
Hi, welcome to all the other panelists. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward to an exciting session.
And finally, last but not the least, we have Sidra Farooq, who is the global head of retail at Deribit. She comes with a diverse background in sales, business development, and marketing. Welcome, Sidra, on board.
Thank you, Sana. Thank you for the warm introduction. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We hope to have a great session ahead of us.
Wonderful. Farhan, we would like you to take the floor and share your experience with us and our customers. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very exciting journey. I started with Citibank. I was 11 years with Citibank, started with a call center and grew up and ended up running the customer experience in multiple parts of the world, including a 3-year stint in Citibank Russia, where I was the head of customer experience for Citibank Russia. Then 3 years, I was with Mashreq Bank, took it to best banks in the country. And next 11 years, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank, I was the director of customer experience. And very proudly, I present that I took the bank from 23rd to #1 bank in this country in customer experience. And we stayed there for 7 consecutive years, which is quite an achievement that I'm very, very proud of. I started my own consultancy about a couple of years ago, and with the idea of helping organizations to understand where their current customer experience status is and how they enhance it, find the gaps, and take it to the next level. I'm also one of the most experienced judges in the world in terms of customer experience. So I help organizations enter into different awards and win awards all over the world. And I do multiple master classes around the world. I'm recently joining hands with Ian Goulding as well and doing some master classes in this region as well. So these are the areas where I cover myself. Today, the topic is very interesting. It's about digital marketing and SEO. And I would like to concentrate a little bit on this particular part and share with you what is the importance of customer experience in the beginning, and then a little bit of what digital marketing and SEO does in terms of enhancing customer experience. So, Sana, I think this is the era of customer where the customers are demanding seamless interactions and personalized services. This is very, very clear. And the role of digital marketing and SEO in enhancing customer experience has become extremely paramount. The powerful strategies that are deployed by banks to leverage the potential of digital marketing and SEO, it empowers them to not only meet but exceed customer expectations. Remember, the customers today are not satisfied by just meeting their expectation. You have to exceed those expectations. And I feel that the landscape of customer experience in the banking industry is being dramatically changed by these innovative approaches, which is related to the digital marketing and SEO. Now, before I go into specifically on what digital marketing does, let me very quickly talk about what customer experience in the banking industry and what is its importance. I wouldn't be wrong to say that Today, customers have plenty of choices and alternatives. There are a lot of banks, there are a lot of opportunities available. And providing a remarkable customer experience is not an option anymore. It is imperative. And as Ron Kaufman said, the future of experience is care. And we are slowly moving into a field where we need to start caring about the customer like we care about our families. And just like you care about your kids and care about their future, we need to care about the customer, not from today, but care about them, about their future. Some of the things that good customer experience does, one, it helps you in customer retention and loyalty. It's a very, very important thing because loyalty is what we are through our NPS surveys and everything, we're trying to calculate the loyalty. So exceptional customer experience builds these strong bonds with customers, fostering loyalty and increasing the likelihood of long-term relationship. And you know that satisfied customers are more likely to remain with the bank for a longer period of time, using their services, opening new accounts, and creating a loyalty, whereas poor customer experience leads to customer churn. Similarly, good customer experience helps in competitive differentiation. Today, as I said, every bank is offering similar products. I mean, there are credit cards available from multiple banks. But today, how does a customer choose a product? It's not just the product that attracts them, but it's the differentiator is the customer experience. How they feel that they would be dealt with is how the customer is choosing not only to buy the product, but also stay with the banks. And the banks that prioritize customer experience and create that memorable experience gain that competitive advantage. Similarly, you have increased customer engagement, then you have the trust and reputation building, because a very fundamental pillar of the banking industry is trust, and a positive customer experience contributes to that. There are multiple other areas where customer experience helps banking industry, but one thing which I wanted to point out specifically here, with very few organizations today care about, and they don't even calculate it, is the customer lifetime value. We're more focused on NPS and CSATs and surveys, but knowing your customer's lifetime value is very, very important. And CX plays a crucial role in determining the lifetime value of the customer, as customers tend to use a broader range of banking services and remain loyal over an extended period of time. And you can understand, if the customer is with you for a longer period of time, the banks are going to reap the reward of enhanced customer retention and increased profitability. I'll take a little bit of time. I know maybe I'm taking a bit more time, but I wanted to talk about the importance of highlight some potential benefits of leveraging digital marketing and SEO and how it improves the customer experience. Now, banking industry can yield numerous benefits out of this, transforming the way banks engage with customers and enhancing their overall customer experience. For example, enhanced customer engagement. Now, first things that marketing helps us to do is that it allows banks to connect with customers on various digital platforms and channels. And by delivering personalized and target messages, banks can capture customer attention. It can foster engagement. It can encourage active participation with the brand and offerings. And this leads to stronger relationship and loyalty. Like, for example, Citibank maintains an active presence on social media platforms. It engages with customers through timely responses, contests, educational contents. Similarly, if I may give you an example of Santander's chatbot, which is called, I believe it's called Anna. So Anna assists customers with everyday banking tasks, such as checking balances and transferring funds through natural language processing. Similarly, good digital marketing and SEO strategy, it helps improve brand visibility and reach. And Riyadh Bank in Saudi Arabia, for example, leverages SEO techniques to ensure their online presence is highly visible in search engines, which results in customers to find them relatively information quicker and access the banking services faster. I can talk on multiple other areas, just a couple of them. For example, personalization and customization. That's an important one. Target marketing and cost efficiency. That's another important one. Bank of America has a life plan tool, which offers customized financial guidance and recommendation based on each customer's unique financial situation. Emirates NBD, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank here, Mashreq that I worked with, they are working on the seamless omni-channel experience, which is backed by the digital marketing and SEO facilities. And it offers a very user-friendly website and mobile app that provides personalized financial insight, budgeting tools, tailored products and recommendations, and multiple other things that I can talk about, but I think I've taken enough time on talking about this. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Farhan. I think just adding on to what you have built, I completely agree with what you're saying. Customer experience being the pivot point of, building a customer loyalty and overall profitability of the bank. I think when you gave examples of Citibank and Santander's, these were one of the early adopters that really realized the full potential of having customer experience at the center of their, P&L journey.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, for the local industry, especially the mid-size and the small-size banks have still to catch up. The likes of ENBDs, FABs, and Mashreqs were early adopters, and they followed the examples of Citibanks and Standard Chartered, and obviously they built these omni-channels to give a great customer experience. And the better customer experience that they gave, the better they saw that, their overall ROI and ROAS started to improve over a period of time. But one of the challenges that I think when it comes to mid-sized banks, which is still a huge market that people can penetrate through, is when it comes to the mid-sized banks and small-sized banks, selling a proposition like customer experience or using digital marketing techniques to improve overall customer experiences, it's difficult to get the buy-in of the senior management and the board of directors. So when people like Farhan or me try to pitch this project and we tell them the pros and cons of these projects and the fact that if we don't adopt these projects or we don't get onto the bandwagon, we'll be left behind. It is very difficult because the numbers, they come over a period of time. The ROI comes over a period of time, and eventually this drives a lot of ROI. But for them, a lot of board members and a lot of management, they still consider these things as expenses rather than investments. What we need to look at these things are as investments. And obviously, when you start looking at these initiatives of digital transformations as investments, you will start to appreciate the full potential of leveraging these things. So I think that this industry has a lot of potential. Companies like us, either they plan to do it internally using digital marketing techniques, using the artificial intelligence, the new tool that everybody is very excited about, but again, does not truly understand the potential of using AI correctly to unlock the potentials. These are the things that we need to educate and help people get empowered on these things. And once people start to appreciate the advantage of this fully, I think it's a great journey to be part of. And with veterans like Farhan, who are there to educate people and inform people, I think this industry has a great potential from both financial perspective and an overall customer profitability perspective.
Syed, I think you said absolutely right. If I may add one point, ROI even today is one of the biggest debate points across, and you would be very surprised to note that only 17% of the industries actually calculate their ROI on CX.
Exactly.
Their ROI, but customer experience ROI, only 17% of the industries are, because it's very difficult to calculate. And you use the word how it is difficult. I use the word a terminology which is called blue dollar versus green dollars. So sales, for example, brings your green dollars. You have the immediate return. But what customer experience promises is the blue dollars that we will satisfaction, which in turn will increase your experience, which in turn will increase your. So it's a very interesting debate how you convince your client.
I think just a few years back, most of the banks, even with the likes of the bigger banks, they could not even get a single point of customer view. I mean, when the corporate used to look at customers, they only used to look at the lending part of it, and the deposit side of the bank was sitting in silos. And only recently the bigger banks have started to calculate an overall customer single point of view. And that is when they started to appreciate, that if they provide these corporate customers or retail customers a good customer experience, they are likely to have the opportunities of upsell and cross-sells from the likes of treasury. So only just a loan and deposit is not the only product that you can give to a certain corporate or a retail, but you can give so many banking products, from trade finance to cash management facilities and credit cards on corporate side, within the payroll system. So there are so many things, and that's only when they started to give that customer a feel that we are here to facilitate you, we are here to make your life easier, come to our platform, come to our bank. And that's how they are creating this brand loyalty that customers would like to leverage over a period of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. It's interesting to know that there are only 17% of companies who are calculating their ROI based on customer experience. Anyways, we would like to take the conversation forward, and we would like Sidra to speak a few words about customer experience and how she has been doing that over the years of experience with her. Over to you, Sidra.
Yeah, thank you, Sana. I see some great insights by both Syed and Farhan around customer experience. My part will be mostly focused on the digital marketing aspect of it. And I have a mini presentation to share around it. So I'll build on to this and really talk about certain specific strategies around customer experience and digital marketing. Because at the end of the day, no matter how great and good your customer experience is in the digital transformation journey, in the overall suite of things, until unless it is not you do not correlate it with a great and effective communication strategy across an omni-channel digital marketing communication strategy, it will not translate into ROI, something that a lot of banks in the MENA region continue to struggle. A lot of banks globally also struggle, but then we have some incredible case studies as well around the world. Like, for example, we'll dig deeper into Revolut and all. Can we move to slide number 3? So just because we are talking about stats, and stats are the core of digital marketing and today's time and age, this is these are some key stats that we got through Zendesk. 72% of customers who are participating in digital marketing, digital experiences through banks require immediate and instant services. 70% expect to interact with somebody who would have full context to the situation, and 62% think that the flow of communication between both physical and digital spaces should be as seamless as possible. And another 62% emphasize on personalized experiences, which is something which we have seen of lately, that personalized experiences have become the core of marketing, not just in banking, in a lot of other verticals as well. And when we say personalized experience, by personalized experience, it means based on your journey on these apps, on digital platforms, providing you the right recommendations, even so addressing you by your names, even the smallest things like addressing you by your names, providing you with the right recommendations. Let's say you were interested in certain consumer products. Let's say you're a female, so you would want recommendations around female debit cards to pop up around for a bank, right? So let's say you are a female entrepreneur, so you would want you want the digital marketing communication to be around campaigns which are specific to females, or products which are specific to females. So that's really important to be as on point as possible with respect to your target demographic, with respect to the target market. Just a quick brush into what are the top 5 trends which are very, very crucial for customers. We have been discussing how important and crucial AI is, hence the rise of bots, hence the rise of chatbots, ChatGPT. And even if you look at the core of programmatic advertising, the core of Metas and Google Ads and PPCs of the world, they're all AI driven. So it's AI which is informing the decision maker. It's AI which is making the process more efficient. It's AI which is sending those targeted ads, those personalized ads that we are talking about. conversational experiences are the new normal, which means that people want more and more real content, real interaction. Hence, we saw the rise of influencer marketings. We saw the rise of real content against super programmed, super robotic content. So, which is why now as we discussed earlier, people want a constant experience, a seamless experience between physical and loyal. Emotional connection, I don't think it has got to do anything with changing time. It's got anything to do with digital marketing. We're all driven by emotions, and it's been there since generations, and marketing and emotions can never be mutually exclusive. They go hand in hand, and whichever brands are able to tap in onto the emotional aspect and then tie it with their digital marketing initiatives, we've seen it. They're very, very successful. There are multiple case studies around there, through locally, regionally. So you really can't, emotions are at the center of everything. Yeah. So, I mean, our recommendations will always obviously not be limited to this. Digital marketing in itself is a huge forum, and there's tons and tons of things going out there. But yes, mobile banking apps, which are user-friendly, which address your customer's concern, easy to use, are very important for a seamless customer experience. Personalized communications, which is extremely possible through in-app notifications, the target profile, the demographic profile, using checkbox, really doing consumer surveys, doing your research, and then giving the recommendations and sending out marketing communication around them. Then, of course, chatbots and AI-powered assistance is all the big norm that these days, and omni-channel experience. What you're saying physically should tie in digitally, and we see it across the globe, across different banks. You see Mashreq, you see NVD, their retail banking, physical banking experiences have now increasingly been tied up with their digital experiences. Hence the need for phone banking, for applying even the smallest of things, like you can just apply for your credit card or activate your credit card directly through the mobile app, instead of visiting the branch or waiting for hours on your phone queues. So it is getting adapted, but it is central and it is core to what customers want in today's time and age. I do want to brush up on Revolut. It's one of my absolute favorite case studies. I love the way Revolut has risen to where it is in Europe, and it's a British neobank, and their communication of including the product that they have made has made it extremely popular. It's nothing too fancy. If you go and look at the portal, if you go and download the app, it's very basic, it's very simple, it follows a minimalistic philosophy, and that is one app, all things money. So, for all your money management needs, including for investments, travel perk, you open a Revolut account, and the rest, they say, is history. People absolutely love it. It's got its rave case studies around it. And it's not like Revolut rose to power in a day. It took its time. It took 4 or 5 years to become a hugely $1 million profitable company. But it is worth noticing and acknowledging the overall in-app experiences of Revolut, including right from the time you open an account to depositing, to making your first transaction. It's like a layman's job. Anybody can do it, and it's seamless. We would want to, I do have some infused in the slides, certain examples of how, because this is about digital marketing and how the kind of communication that they have adopted. It would be worth evaluating that. So now can we move forward? Yeah, so this is like, Revolut was, as of 2021, it reported a net profit of net revenue of $636 million, and it's got 20 million users, and its daily active users a day EU has only grown. Average customer deposit stands at £462.5. So in a gist, Revolut uses extremely personalized real marketing. If you look at their social media handle, you will see real faces, you will see street shows happening, you will see challenge, you will see contests in light with current scenarios, you will also see educational content, you will also see content which is around what's happening on social media. So I think one of the biggest X factors in Revolut's overall digital marketing strategy is how minimalistic and real they have been. They have incorporated a lot of user generated content, which is by virtue of their own self-generated content as well as their partnerships with influencers. The content marketing is a mix of both educational, which involves blogs, videos, as well as a lot of engaging contests. There's humor, there's that emotional element as well. The messaging is extremely targeted. So like if you make an account on Revolut and you've not KYC'd, you will see the messaging will be specific to your certain scenario. You will see how they will chase you. But until you KYC, and then once you KYC, then they will chase you for deposit. So they know. So, they are targeting you in light of where you stand in their overall consumer journey without really harassing you or going over the top. I do have an example around this. Can we move forward? Move forward. Yeah, so if we look at this particular email, Revolut has an awesome referral program. It's very simple, very easy. You you invite if you get 50 pounds, should you refer a friend, what all your friend needs to do is you send the referral link to your friend, they tap the referral, they register at Revolut, and then they finish their KYC, and then they connect their account, top up their accounts with a certain with their bank account, with a bank account. As long as they complete 3 purchases worth £5 each, both you end up winning an easy 50 pounds. Now, if you look at this emailer, it's very simple, it's very specific. And it's very minimalistic, and it's clearly structured. So there's one call to action button that we see which says invite friends. The process is also very simple. All you need to do is open the app, send the referral link, get your friends to register, do these 2 processes, and you get the reward. So, this is the kind of communication that really ties the customer experiences with the digital marketing initiatives as discussed. That will really help the brand and help it convert and grow its ROI over a period of time. If you look at content marketing, if you go on Revolut's website, if you go on Revolut's Instagram handles, I see a whole suite of different types of content. We do see a lot of academic contents, a lot of how-to, a lot of press releases on the blog side. On the social media side, we do see, like, if you look at this post, what is in high band and how it is used, how is it useful? Now, that's a very basic question, but Revolut understands that it's targeting the layman of Europe, it's targeting the layman of UK. So it would want, and a lot of times people don't know what is high band. So, it's taking the initiative to explain what is high band. And then it's also talking about at the elm of inflation and rising interest rates and people really struggling to make ends meet. It's also coming up with an empathetic post around budgeting tips. So if you look at the overall content, I mean, I'm going to dig deeper because Revolut doesn't stop here. There's also humor to it. There's also a lot of quotes here. So if you look at that, it's a great mix of educational content plus, content are in line with current scenario. And I would say that it's cleverly used. It also believes in user-generated content, which is extremely important because gone are the days of Ronaldos and Messis and the celebrities of the world endorsing everything left, right, center. So today, influencer content, real-life content works well. They launched this initiative, which is called the Revolut Creator Club, and they invite people like you and me to use Revolut and share content. It's so clever, it's so smart, and then they use it. They will definitely leverage it for their paid campaigns, and they will put it out there. So it's coming from the horse's mouth. It's coming from people like you and me. So I think that's a great initiative.
And I think sorry, I'm cutting you. I would just like to add that Gen Z just relates to all such sort of content, and they want everything on their mobile phone. They want everything through app, and they want it 24/7. So Revolut is just reaching out to them on next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And using it very cleverly. If you just look at this me at home casually waiting for payday, like, I mean, it's just, they've just lifted a picture from Google and added a very cool and catchy caption with it. And there you go. You have a nice content out there. You didn't have to design. You did not have to invest hours of your designers. You did not have to do a lot of video editing, and it's there. And we saw a lot of influencer posts out there. There's a couple of posts, where influencers have generated millions of views, very small influencers, just by sharing this kind of humorous content or sharing their experience with Revolut. Sana, if you can just see if we can play one of the influencer reels.
Let me check. Is this the link, the first one?
No, that's the Creator Club.
Second one?
Check.
You have to check.
I think influencer was in the first slide where you were.
This is the one?
No. Okay, it's okay. Not in this. The first slide where we had listed all the. Not come down on check slide number 10. Go back.
This one.
Yeah, this one.
Oops.
Not
Cannot
working.
be played on my server. Yeah.
It's all right. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay, that is some great insights. I would also like Farhan and Heather to give their input on this. Could something like Revolut be a part of UAE's industry? Has it already been happening, or what would you guys think about it?
I can give you a very quick insight into what customer experience does to a brand and social media. Obviously, this part of the world, we are very privileged because I always give an example, and I'm coming from Europe where I was giving a lecture, and I told them that we are very privileged that we're in a part of the world where customer experience is driven by the state instead of corporate world, which is the case in most of the world where customer experience is driven by the corporate world. Here it's the other way around. The most innovative strategies are adopted by the government, and
they trickle down.
Yeah, and you know what? How serious Zaina Sheikh Mohammed is about customer experience, and everybody remembers when one day he was sitting in post office and he tweeted that this is not the service that this country promised, and these people are not amongst me. And then he went to Ministry of Interior and asked them to do a survey, and in 3 months time period, we all remember when they published the top 5 best customer experience government organizations and bottom 5. And every 6 months they get renewed. So there's so many things that happen here from a customer experience perspective, which ultimately helps the customers and consumers and marketing and all. And obviously, this is the only country where you have a minister of happiness.
Customer happiness, customer happiness.
Minister. Just a couple of examples while Sidra was saying. Sidra, thank you very much. I was very intrigued with the examples that you were giving, and it just reminded me with a couple of examples of my own, if I may just quickly share before. I remember that Southwest Airlines had an instance when there was a bridesmaid who went to, there was a lady who went to Costa Rica and she was attending her sister's wedding. And then she realized that she's forgotten the bridesmaid's dresses. And you can imagine how desperate she was. So what she did was that she tweeted on Southwest Airline, her desperation. And guess what? The airline flew the dresses free of charge. And then they were very clever. They documented their entire journey on Twitter, and they created a special hashtag which was called hashtag rescue the dress. And this story ended up on the Today show and gave huge coverage to the media, and it just took off their brand as well. Similarly, another instance was in North Carolina, where there was an employee in Target store, and a teenager came and he was buying a tie. And he said, "Why are you buying the tie?" He said, I have an job interview, but I don't know how to tie a knot. So the employee helped him tie the tie knot, and somebody took a picture and posted on Facebook. And would you believe that story ended up on USA Today? And it gave such a huge boost to the target industry. So there's so many examples where customer experience and social media together creates such a benefit for everyone.
I think a company, considering that UAE is so big on customer happiness, I still think there's a gap or an opportunity, not a gap, the opportunity for a company like Revolut. But what I think is that the reason why Liv or Zand could not gain critical mass as far as the retail is concerned is because, UAE has a predominantly expat population, and, they still, the trust and the credibility still lies with the likes of Fabs and ENBD, because they have a history of being in the region and they stayed back, right? So a company like Revolut, to make it big in UAE, one of the things that would be needed is an in-the-face digital marketing. I mean, the model is still there to be created. It's pretty simple. You can replicate what companies like Revolut or Monza has done in UK, but to drive that critical mass, to drive that companies towards critical mass, one of the things that they would have to do is to spend a lot of money on digital marketing techniques, so that it becomes the word of the mouth, and that's where adoption will come in. The same like blockchain, right? Blockchain projects and all. The concept is there, the business case is yes, but the network effect will come over a period of time as more and more people will start to adopt these things. I mean, there is an opportunity for an industry like UAE, where customer experience, as Farhan has highlighted time and again, that it's big for us. I mean, when I pay a Diva bill or any bill for that matter, I get towards the end a survey where I have to tell that that I am happy or not, and they have made these things so easy, and the accessibility has become so good that I can clearly tell the difference what probably 8 years ago, when I used to set up a bill payment, versus what I can do now through my banking channels or online channels. So I think that, a company like Revolut can do big in UAE. It's just that they have to position themselves correctly, and they have to have those investment plans. Again, as we talked in the beginning, that they don't have to think like it's an expense, it's a startup and it's an expense. They have to consider it as an investment, which will definitely generate a very high ROI, because people like here, there's a very high mobile penetration in UAE and Saudi. People are always on the phone. They like convenience. They like good digital marketing experience. They like good customer experience. So it's just a matter of capitalizing on this opportunity.
Yeah, if I may add very quickly onto this, sorry, Sarah, we've taken time, but this conversation is so interesting. One of the reasons, Heather, you're absolutely right. All digital banks are struggling a little bit, and one of the reasons is because today I feel that the organization which will survive and which will do well is which will find the right balance between human and physical and digital transformation, which is the concept which is called the digital.
Yes.
And I was listening to the CEO of Invest Bank, a new bank which has come up in UAE, and I was so shockingly surprised, because the CEO Ahmed started talking a language which was very clear. They said, our bank is based on digital, but the primary vision is customer centricity. Customer comes first. We will adopt all the technology, all the social media and everything, but we will not impact customer experience. So, for example, if we are adding a chatbot or any other resource, we are not going to impact the resources, which unfortunately is happening in many organizations. It's a controversial statement I'm going to say, that many organizations are using digital transformation as a cost-save initiative rather than a customer experience initiative.
Exactly.
So you put in a chatbot and then you remove half of the call center agents. And when you want to pick up and talk to an agent today in many banks, even in this part of the world, it's very difficult to go through.
It's very difficult, very difficult.
So the balance, which is phygital, is quite an important. I can see that Sarah is getting a little agitated. Maybe she has a. I'm sorry, Sarah, you have to.
No. I completely agree with you. I was just going through this concept that you spoke about right now, phygital. And you're absolutely right. It's so important to have the right balance, because sometimes I'm sure you guys have experienced it as well. You want to speak to somebody of the organization, and there's a chatbot and he keeps on giving you the same answer, and you easily get agitated and irritated. And this is where the domino effect happens. This is where you start getting irritated from the bank. So it is the little things that contribute, that has a larger effect on customer experience. And companies need to be very mindful of these minor detailing of specific things. Anyways, so we have a question here from the audience who is from North America. So she has asked, or he has asked, that how important is communication when it comes to localization? I mean, speaking to the customer in their preferred language. Do we have any research on
I'll address
ads?
that. I'd like to start with that, and then I'll let Farhan and Sidra add on. I think it is extremely important. As a digital marketing agency, we work with clients in Saudi and UAE, and Arabic is extremely important when you're communicating the right message on a Facebook ad, on a Google ad, or on any communication, for example, chatbot support. So whenever you are leveraging a digital marketing channel, the localization, especially the language, is extremely important to make that customer feel comfortable about it. And you will come to know that it's not just the Arabic that works. So from Saudi, the Levant dialect is very different from what the dialect being used in UAE. Saudi dialect is pretty different. So when we actually work with clients and you try to fit a square peg in a round box, it doesn't work. You have to give that experience and that digital marketing communication in the dialect that the youth and the people can relate to. So it's extremely important to have that communication in a localized language across your digital marketing channel. And I think that is one of the key things when it comes to UAE. Any government service, any corporate service that you call in, they give you an option to talk in English, Hindi, which is Urdu, as well as Arabic as well. And the rest of the conversation that follows is there. And when you call somebody in Saudi, the dialect that will be used in Saudi will be very different from the Arabic that is spoken in UAE. So I think it's extremely important. I would let Farhan and Sidra add on to this if they want.
I think very important. In the end, from a customer perspective, it's the choice that has to be given to the customer. Today, customer drives customer experience. So if they want to talk in their own language, that's what the organizations need to provide. And I was just flying back on Emirates just a couple of days ago from Pakistan. And the announcement was we have 19 crew members on board and they speak 18 languages. They're not going to speak 18 languages, but those 18 languages are available. And that's the diversity of the communication, because which gives a comfort to the people. I don't have to be nervous that I'm flying a UAE airline, which is predominantly probably a Arabic speaking airline, but I can speak my own language. And if I have an issue as a customer, I can raise my issue and talk in terms of my own language. And that's what organizations need to give the comfort to a customer, no matter where they come from. Dialect is an issue that Heather has talked about, but it's a comfort that a customer needs to get, that I should be comfortable talking to my bank or any organization that I communicate with.
Absolutely. Okay. So we have another question from the audience, and the question is, what role does personalization play in improving customer experience in the banking industry, and how can it be achieved through digital marketing and SEO? I think Farhan,
I can pick it up. Yeah, I can pick it up. I mean, I'm big on personalization, and customer experience is all about, how personalized you get to and how close do you get to the customer. First of all, let me define it how Steve Jobs said it. And Steve Jobs, I really like what things that Steve Jobs said. And he's not only said these things, but proven. He said, get closer to your customer, so close that you tell them what they want before they ask for it. And that can only happen with two things. First, you know your customer very well. And the entire customer experience is designed around customer centricity. So once you know your customer, you can personalize your activities accordingly. The more you know the customer, the more you get closer. So personalization plays a very critical role in improving customer experience, either in the banking industry or any other. And it helps you to tailor products, services, your communication to individual customer preferences and needs. And it also enables banks to create relevant, engaging, and seamless experiences. It is important to remember that personalization goes beyond generic or one-fit-all approach. It's not like you personalize one way and then you can run it across. It recognizes that each customer is unique and strives to deliver experience that make customers feel like valued and understood. That's what Netflix does. I mean, if I watch a certain movie with a certain genre, next time, the moment I go online, it starts pushing the movies of the similar genre and similar nature that I have watched. That is personalization through an AI. And I feel very comfortable because as my individual customer, I realize that they have listened to me and they know what I want and they're providing that. So marketing, when it comes to marketing, digital marketing and SEO can be leveraged in personalization in many ways. You can have customized offers and recommendations. You can have personalized communication. We just talked about it. Your enhanced customer support can be provided through multiple channels. And very importantly, the behavioral targeting. Digital marketing strategies like targeting can be used to personalize ads and promotions based on customer behavior. The more you understand customer behavior, the better it is for you to target those customers, and you can do it easily.
Absolutely. So I think the most unfortunate things for banking industry or financial industry or company would be that they sit on such huge amount of data, yet they are unable to use that for personalization. I think for starters, if somebody wants to dive into personalization, they can just start going through the data they already have built on.
No, it's
Anyways,
not like a lot of big banks, they already go through their own research and they get these surveys done around customer experiences. What are the main preferences, primary drivers of choice towards the main banking institution? And they keep working to improve that. Like you do that at least with all the big banks, the 6-7 banks. But what needs to be seen is how much of those drivers of choice are driven by the need for digital marketing or initiating digital marketing or initiating top-notch customer experiences. So let's just say that if the primary driver of choice for, let's say, in the UAE market from between ENBD and Mashreq is an interest rate, or is so then these banks will strive to compete with each other for more competitive rates. So it also varies from market to market and region to region, which markets are more receptive for better customer experiences and digital marketing. Having said that, we cannot deny the importance of personalized communication, which is at the elm of all digital marketing. This is the only, back when we were in media, we were doing print media, we used to argue with our clients and they would be like, oh, what's the ROI going to be? So we would argue with them, oh, you place these ads on these TVs and billboards. Do you really calculate? Do you really have any data backing up the response? No, you don't. You pay in millions to these AC Nielsen's of the world to do that research, and still you cannot come to a conclusive ground around it. But come 6 years, 7 years later, you now have digital marketing, and at least now, I'm very proud to say that at least us digital marketers, we have data which is backing up our marketing initiatives, and we get the opportunity to improve our conversions through that data, and that's the only way. So let's just say, for example, if it is so microscopic, the targeting, that let's say I have viewed a certain video for 90% of that video. Now the AI will pick that up and it will consider me as a prospect who is more likelihood to convert, and I will get similar ads, and till I go on the website and make that purchase and convert. So what marketers need to do is the next subsequent communication has to be in line with where I am in the overall consumer journey. So let's say I'm watching the videos, I'm picking around, but I do need to a bit more of a pitch. So the bank might want to send me a few offers, or they might want a personalized a calling agent calling me to really go and make that deposit or open that account or whatever it was that for which I was seeing that video. So yeah, I mean, personalized experiences are very important. Not just in banking, in every sector of the world. That's why you can now track abandoned carts. You can now track things that even in e-commerce, you can track what you have added in your shopping carts. You can track which websites are you visiting. Everything really gets scrolled. Sometimes I feel that even our conversations are being recorded because sometimes it happens that I'm thinking something to buy something, or I'm talking to my husband or my friend, and the next thing I do is that I log in on social media and I see that ad coming. And I'm like, is this for real? I was just merely talking about it. Why am I being shown this?
Heather has his hand raised. since quite some
I
time.
think,
So
yeah. So I would just like to add that I think data is the new currency, right? I think
yeah,
you said that, it is unfortunate that some of the banks don't realize that, what they can do with data. Yes, probably the mid-size and the smaller banks still do not appreciate the full power of the data. But I used to be part of the Mashreq team, and Farhan can, second on that. Back in, I was part of the Mashreq when Farhad used to be the head of retail back in 2012 and 13. And Mashreq was one of the few banks who were early adopters. They had a separate business intelligence unit, BI unit sitting within. There was a guy called Amber, and he used to have about 7-8 people team who used to sift through data and do customer segmentation modeling of their credit card data and their loan data, and used to send customized product messages and improve their customer experience. If somebody has been regular on their credit card, they used to send them offers or, additional cross-sell and upsell products. So Mashreq was one of the pioneers back in 2012 and 13. And then, ENBD, Fab, and everybody probably, arrived a bit 1 or 2 years down the road late. And still, as you said that rightly, that the smaller banks still do not use that, or probably consider that still as an investment they will have to make. But sooner or later, they have to upgrade themselves, because data is the new currency. And, not just banks, but for all the corporates or e-commerce data, as Sidra said, that, if you want to be selling to a customer, you need to understand the customer profile in and out thoroughly. And as Farhan said that, you need to know your customer better than the customer knows himself, and be ready with the offer or the experience that he's looking for. And that's what you need to offer. If you want to make a difference from the crowd, then you have to take that extra mile.
I think very well said, Heather. And one fear that I have, and I see a lot of it, is organizations, unfortunately, are running after collecting data. So data, yes, you said that it's the new currency, but data is just numbers unless it's analyzed and it's converted into action plans. So I see so many organizations, especially on service as well. So NPS, CSAT, customer effort score, multiple matrices, and they have abundance of service. So customer get bothered every point. So every time I stay somewhere, I do something, the information is going. But what do they do with that information? I rarely get back when some organization get back to me. I do this. I have a habit of leaving, feedback in different places, and then I wait. How long will the organization take to get back to me? So yes, they're collecting data, but are they doing anything on it? So, like for example, I had a strategy where in my branch, when a customer would come and press, let's say, unhappy button on the machine of a feedback machine, the trigger would immediately go to the branch manager. And before the customer left, the branch manager is already with the customer saying, sir, you just told me that you're unhappy. Please come join me for a cup of coffee and tell me what happened. And that's what customer appreciated, rather than somebody calling after 7 days and saying, we received your feedback through our surveys and we found you unhappy. And the customer said, thank you very much. I've already left your organization.
Yeah.
So the timing is also very
completely
important. How quickly you
Exactly.
respond to it and how important you do it is, and how value you give to the data.
perfect. So we have another very interesting question here. Are there any cultural or regional nuances that should be taken into account when designing customer experience initiatives through digital channels, especially in the UAE market? So I think the Sidra would be keen to answer this question.
Yes, of course. In the UAE market, in the overall GCC market, which is extremely multicultural, and there's a big expat population living in this region, and then there's a big Arabic speaking population as well. You do want to, we've been talking about personalized experiences and adapting your communication, your digital initiatives around around the local preferences works wonders. We've seen that in multiple campaigns with various banks that we worked with various cryptocurrencies we have worked with fintech companies that we have worked with. It always works. Even the smallest of things, like if it's a product, which is targeted for locals, then you do want to use local faces. You want to use Emiratis, like you want to show the local cultural vibe, and then you would also notice that because the region is not receptive to in Ramadan and other regions, the region is not receptive to a lot of provocating visuals and imagery. So that would be at all times discouraged in this market versus a market like a European market or a UK market. So you have to adapt. If we go so much so at adapting at point blank or at Arabic for that matter, that we also make sure that even if it's Arabic content and if it's a campaign which is targeted for Saudi, you want to use the Saudi dialect. You want to make sure that your communication is in line with their style of speaking Arabic. And then if it's here, or if it's Qatar, or if it's even Oman, or even if it's you want to adapt the Levant style of communication, and that has a tremendous impact on your ROI, on the return on ad spend, on how the click-through rate works, even SEO for that matter, because a lot of these regions are are where Saudi is spoken predominantly. So I'm a firm believer. My results have spoken in the past. On how this works. Like, let's say in China, if you have a campaign which is targeted for China or Korea or Japan, you just cannot afford to not do that campaign in their local dialect. It will not work. It will be a waste of money. So whether it's for a fintech, whether it's for a bank, whether it's for a consumer product, so certain areas are big on regional, and then in the MENA region more so, because you have here it's a multicultural vibe that we give, and there are a lot of nationalities that are thriving here. So you have to be sensitive about adapting it locally, regionally. We see that in the entire corporate communication as well as retail communications of all the big and the small banks over here.
Perfect. We have questions coming up again and again. I think we're short of time, so we'll be picking up the last question. The question is, can digital marketing help financial institutions maintain trust and credibility with their customers in an increasingly digital world? Heather, I think you would be.
I think it is extremely important. I think it is extremely important. And digital marketing tools can definitely help build the customer trust, because obviously what digital marketing tools allow you is to leverage transparency. A more clear and transparent communication strategy delivered through the right appropriate channels like email marketing, your social media ads, that basically helps customers know what their rights are, based on their affordability metrics. They should have a clear communication from the products and services that the banks are being offered. So if a bank is using that transparency and the right communication message, they can leverage these tools to build credibility and trust, and it's extremely important.
Perfect. We have a quick question that just popped in the Q&A section. What is the role advanced analytics in enhancing customer experience, and how bank can use it? I think this is the last question we'll be taking in, guys. I am sure.
So you have enough time, but I'll just add a quick one. I mean, this can be added, but one part that I'll add here is the sentiment analysis. To me, sentiment analysis is so critical today. You need to understand. I always tell people, you do surveys, that's just a percentage of your total customer population, but customer is going on social media and adding your sentiments. So listen to their sentiments and create your strategies accordingly. You can hear them over the call center, to the calls that are coming in. You can hear them in Twitter and Facebook and wherever your customer is interacting. So sentiment analysis does a big part in advanced digital.
Perfect. Is there anything, Heather and Sidra, you would like to add, and we'll be closing the session then?
I think I just replied to that question on the chat.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Perfect. Sidra, would you like to add on a closing statement before we take an exit?
No, I think it was lovely having everyone here, and it was a very great interacting and enriching session. I learned a lot from Farhan and Heather and you, and it's always great to catch up and talk and discuss what's happening, and we should
exactly. It's always good to learn from industry veterans. So Farhan, thank you for your insights. It's great having you.
Done so much fun.
Thank you guys so much. We're really excited to initiate something like this, and of course this is the first of many episodes that we'll be having, and we'll be interacting with different audiences in different industries. Thank you everyone for taking our time for this, for attending it, for answering questions and queries. So bye-bye until
Thank you,
next time.
Sana, for moderating
Thank you.
this. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
all the participants.
Thank
you,
you.
Thank you. Thank you, Farhan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.